I've talked about my love for physical game media. I also talked about Streets of Rage 4, which I played on Xbox Game Pass, and I was blown away by the game, by the graphics, the gameplay, the music. I thought that it was an incredible way to celebrate this classic franchise from the days of the Sega Genesis. But not only do you bring it to modern times, you just make an incredible game that definitely stands on its own. And I feel like this video is going to combine my love for physical game media and Streets of Rage 4 because my name is Juan, and in this video we are going to be taking a look at the Classic Edition of Streets of Rage 4 for the Nintendo Switch from Limited Run Games. I never thought this would actually arrive because it was delayed because of the pandemic. Initially, it was delayed a lot farther down the road, but fortunately, that was not the case. So if you like what I do, please consider subscribing, clicking on that bell, and going down to the comments section because as you check out this collection here, this edition here, let me know if you'd like to see other games get this type of treatment. I do have other limited special edition games like that Dead Cells in the back, but that was from a different company. But when I saw this one, and I'm just going to show this right now, just so you immediately go like, oh, that's why. Check this out. So in the video, we're going to be going back and forth between some B-roll that I recorded so you get the best quality and experience possible. But first, I want to show you what comes inside the box. So you get the sleeve here, and then when you open it up, it's a reversible cover, people. So if you want it to look more modern, then you keep the one that it comes with. But if you want to celebrate the days of the Sega Genesis, what I love is that you can take the cover out, flip it, and then you have it. And in the package, you also get a limited run trading card. And this is something they often do with their games. And I feel like with the art style of Streets of Rage 4, it just blends together perfectly. And something that was not originally part of the package. So some of you may be looking at this going like, wait a minute, can't I buy Streets of Rage 4 at Amazon and other places? And the answer is yes, because there was some kind of mix-up and they even had to apologize. So I got multiple emails here because some limited type stuff was only supposed to be for like the European region, and it's just something happened. But in order to compensate, they included a Limited Run Games exclusive track selection. And if you've listened to the soundtrack, you know it's pretty awesome. So getting this, I know it's not the full soundtrack. I've not even opened it so far because usually I listen to music in my car, and because of the pandemic, I'm just here stuck at home working here. So someday, I'll put it in my car and enjoy the soundtrack. Let's open this up and check out the most redundant package ever. I knew going in, this is just ridiculous, and you'll see what I mean. But the first thing is, this is hard to open. Like every time I'm about to open this, I feel like I'm gonna break it. But inside of it, you get not one case, you get two, because you do get a more standard edition Nintendo Switch case. The same thing happens with the PS4 edition, but I was never a big fan of this initial cover that they came out with because I thought that the art style of the game was so great, yet here it's like a very dark, monotone, boring thing. But you'll see where they definitely up the ante a bit. And then when you open this up, inside, you usually see the cartridge right here, but I put it in a steel case that's also here, and you get a full color manual. And because the characters are so vivid, full of life, when you look at this manual, it's just really nice to look at. And just like the big Genesis style case, this one you can also flip it. So if you want to go all the way back to Bare Knuckle, the name of the series in Japan, you can invert this and then you have yourself a Bare Knuckle cover. But I just wish it had a little bit more color. And that's maybe my only complaint about this one right here, but overall it looks pretty damn good. But here's the real thing that I was excited to get here. You even get it in a nice sleeve. Check this out. Check this out. Oh yeah. Is that not beautiful, people? I mean, come on, look at this. This is just stunning. When I checked out this the box, I was, hey, $60 is not all that bad considering the different things that you get. You get a box within a box, and there's a box next to that box. You get 3 boxes to store maybe the tiniest game cartridge. Wait a minute, where did I put the game cartridge? Uh-oh. Give me a second, people. Oh, here's another game I got. I actually got the physical copy of this, and because I was playing that on my Switch, I put the cartridge of Streets of Rage 4 right in there. By the way, if somebody would like me to give my impressions about this on a future video, let me know. And I know it's like a very controversial thing, but I'm having fun with that. But anyway, usually you would get this cartridge in either the steel case or the other one, but you can also choose to place the manual here. As weird as it may seem, I can benefit from something like this because all of you know, if you've been subscribed for a while, that this is not my whole game collection. This is like a select bunch of games. So I actually have it as part of my background, but the rest of my games are over in the game room. So because I have 3 boxes, my wife can hypothetically have 1 box, I can have another one, and then this could be in the living room. This is the most unnecessary. Look, I love physical games, okay? We have talked about this. I think it's a little bit too much, but I kind of love it, right? I kind of love it because I do think we should continue celebrating physical games because we've seen it with the PS5, the Xbox Series X, and the S that it's definitely a thing of the past. And I think a lot more people are going to be looking at things like limited run in a not so limited fashion because it's almost going to be like, no, we got to support this. We got to keep this running and thriving. And that's exactly why I wanted to get this. I know that they've also done limited run stuff with like Doom 64. That was announced recently and I almost bought it because I actually rented that one time. I love that they sometimes recreate the boxes for N64 games. For Genesis and Mega Drive stuff, it's not that difficult, right, to actually get access to these boxes because they're plastic, and this is like very hard plastic. The only nitpick, as I mentioned before, it's like, look, check this out. I'm going to close this, which it makes me look back now, and I'm going to try and open it. Look, I am trying, legit trying, and it is just, okay. Give me a second again. There we go. I feel like eventually it's going to break or something. I don't know if it was just my box or something like that, but I'm excited to get games like this for something that I personally have an emotional attachment to. The main reason that I bought this was not so much for myself, but more so my wife, because she grew up playing games on the Sega Genesis, and Streets of Rage 2 happens to be one of her favorite games of all time. So I thought it was a great experience to be able to have the physical cartridge because she has a Switch in her home office, I have one in mine, and this way we don't have to buy 2 digital copies. And I feel like that's more often than not the challenge with digital game media, right? Because then I get it, and look, I know that with the Switch there's different ways you can go about doing that, but I feel like it's just a pain in the butt to be able to do that. I'd rather have the physical copy. Let me know of other games that have come out recently. Like this is a sequel to something that did come out on the Genesis, right? So it actually makes sense that it got this type of treatment. But hypothetically, are there other games that you feel came out now and you'd be like, man, that game feels right out of the days of the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis? So if you happen to come across any game that should get that treatment, please go down to the comment section because I would love to know. It's definitely a lot more expensive than getting a digital download. Sometimes the games on limited run go for $40, $60, and the actual digital version of the game goes for maybe $5, $10. So it's a very rare occurrence when I get something like that. If the price difference is like $10, then I'm willing to sacrifice that because I love that, to close this video off, Limited Run prides themselves on waiting for the game to be basically done, right? So it doesn't need any patches. And they were so proud of the fact that, hey, Streets of Rage 4, here's the final one. Then as they're shipping it out, the developers actually say, hey, we're doing some patches and some fixing, which is great. But it is always like that challenging thing of you never get the full game now, or you never get the final version of a game. But hopefully you all enjoyed this casual video taking a look at that Classic Edition. If you like what I do, please consider subscribing, clicking on that bell, and following me at twitch.tv/MrMR, Mr. Player Juan. I stream mainly on Wednesdays and Sundays, so up until next time, thanks for watching and supporting, and take care, everybody.